Terry, don't let this kid look so good. Wait a minute now.
And Chomik trying to chip it into the hole, but it's picked off by Mark DeBrays. And he's caught immediately by William Mitchell, but there's also a penalty flag on the play at the 34-yard line.
Think it could be a face mask?
Flag got up.
Indeed it is, against the Argonauts' William Mitchell.
Major foul, face mask. Toronto 39. First down.
So the Toronto Argonauts, leading by 1, send their defensive unit out there to try and stop the BC Lions. They've shut down the passing game pretty well so far, but the Wolf throws it up for Fernandez. Incomplete. Carl Brazeley was there defending against Swervin Mervin.
Boy, Brazeley lost that ball completely, turning his back to the passer that time. And normally, Fernandez, when he's got a situation like that, will go up there and get it.
As soon as I saw the ball underthrown, as we'll see here, I figure Fernandez would just turn and jump, as he normally does inside and get it. But Brazeley got that hand up high and knocked it down.
Just recovered in time.
Brazeley moves out to his left corner position, and again he is facing Mervin Fernandez, and that's something that the left corners find most times. They're covering the #1 receiver in the league, or on the team, I should say, and that is Sandusky taking the pass for a first down out of bounds. Bo Metcalf and Darrell Wilson forced them out.
Well, anybody that doesn't think DeWalt's got a strong arm ought to look at that play right there. He got back off balance and shot that thing over to the sidelines. About a 45-yard pass on a trajectory. Right on the money.
First down, Lions.
Sandusky to the left. Fernandez lines up to the right. First and 10. The ball is at the 47 of Toronto. Draw play with Kevan Jenkins. He gets to the 40-yard line. And that'll put him over 100 yards rushing for the night as he's brought down by William Mitchell. Jenkins and Tyrone Cruz were the Pacific Western Players of the Week in the Canadian Football League for their effort against the Montreal Concorde on Saturday night. The Lions trying to extend their unbeaten string in regular season play to 10 games. Pressure from the backside as Wilson was blitzing. They tried to dump it off over the middle to John Henry White, but that big pressure was coming from the blitzing halfback, Darrell Wilson.
Well, when these two backs go away to block this side, watch man Darrell Wilson come from the outside, and as Leo said earlier, you just run out of blockers. You don't have enough people to pick all those guys up. Darrell Wilson comes free. They try to come out late, just gets rid of the ball and pays for it.
Well, I tell you, if he would have hit him right there, he'd have gone a long way, because Emery was back 3 or 4 steps behind him. If he would have hit him with the flow, he might have got a blocked by that outside man down there. They could have gone the distance.
48-yard field goal attempt by Fasaglia. It's good. So with 12:52 remaining in this second quarter, BC Lions regain the lead. They're in front by 2. We'll be back right after. These days is, will there be a season following the strike deadline next Tuesday?
Well, there was a little article in the paper today that said that they've taken the betting down at Vegas off of whether there's going to be a strike or not. So if those people don't know, who does?
First and 10 from the 35-yard line. The Toronto Argonauts preparing to scrimmage. And I think Bob Obilovich, the head man, has to be very pleased with what he's seen from young Mark Cassell tonight.
Oh, I'd be very happy. I know Bob's got to be very pleased. The kid's moved him twice now, once for a field goal, once for a touchdown. So he doesn't have to worry about Cassell right now anyway.
Little bit of a mix-up. Kerry Taylor took the ball for a pickup of 2. James Parker made the tackle, but it appeared as though Cassell and Taylor weren't quite certain of which way the other was going to go on that play. Don Matthews, the 11th coach in the history of the BC Lions. He has certainly had a very impressive winning percentage since joining the club from Edmonton. That screen to Lester Brown, caught immediately by Rick Clausen.
Why Clausen played that about as well as you can. They usually have a defensive lineman that they call the spy man, and he's in charge of delivering a blow on the offensive blocker and just hanging in there and looking for any screens that may come up the middle. You'll see number 90.
What's 91?
Rick Clausen.
It's blocked and then Clausen.
90 makes a good play too, and Clausen comes in and closes it down.
That is a good job. That, you say the spy man happened to be in the right place.
Only one man back for this third down kick by Hank Olisic. It's Darnell Clash taking the ball at the 34.
Hold on.
He has that move where he spins away from people, and it works to perfection again as he gets it all the way back to the 52 of Toronto before being stopped by Dan Rashovich.
I heard Clash say that he's a little bit disenchanted by the fact that he returned one for a touchdown that was called back. But he knows that those blockers are trying their best to open things up for him. Watch him make a turn. Just a great spin there, stays on his feet, picks up blockers, and he is dangerous every time he gets the football.
Herman Fernandez is dangerous every time he gets that football, and Bo Metcalf must have been schooled in that regard because he was on him quickly.
Well, they like to throw that pattern, but I'll tell you, when Metcalf is 200 pounds and about 6'3", when he comes up there, he'll hit you pretty good, and the ball's thrown low, and that puts Fernandez right at his mercy. And he didn't show him in.
It's actually a loss of 1. It will be 2nd and 11. 11:07 the time remaining in this second quarter. 12-10, the BC Lions lead. DeWalt throwing deep for Sandusky, incomplete. He was being watched by the safety Johnson and Carl Graisley. Rodney Harding was applying the pressure to quarterback Roy DeWalt.
Well, Sandusky came down in there to try to rub off Dennis Clay, and Dennis Clay just gave him a pretty good shot, and that delayed him from getting out there. And that helps your corner because that allows Graisley to get back there to get it. Those receivers want to run close to those defensive backs, they're going to get hit.
Carinci and Taylor are back to accept Lou Pasaglia's third down punt. It will bounce out of bounds. No chance for a return at the 16-yard line. So that's where the Toronto Argonauts will be scrimmaging following that 37-yard kick by Lou Pasaglia. To point out that viewers in Southern Ontario and Windsor will see the German Grand Prix beginning at 4 Eastern Time. The rest of the country will see the Grand Prix at the conclusion of the Expo baseball game Sunday afternoon. 1st and 10. The ball is at the 16. Cassell to Pearson. He's caught and wrapped up by Mel Bird. He improves his passing percentage but doesn't pick up much yardage on that throw to Paul Pearson.
And Donnie Matthews, I think, on the sideline there shows a little indication that he is wondering when his BC Lions are going to start moving. He never does show much emotion on the sidelines, but when you're 4-0, you want to be 5-0.
I don't know where Cassell was throwing that one, but he missed the intended target, if it was Terry Greer, by about 20 yards.
Well, it's that pattern he threw for the touchdowns. All the receivers to one side of the field, and Greer over there by himself. I think he anticipated Greer going deep because he sure threw it a long way. But the one thing about it, he threw it over everybody's head.
You're saying, Coach Obilovich is saying, Mark, you know, Terry's fast, but he's not that fast.
So Hank Olisic, relieved of the place-kicking chores for tonight's game, can concentrate on his putting duties. And he'd like to get a good one away here with just one man back. He stands at his own 5-yard line. Here's some pressure from the outside, and he was hurried with that kick. It bounces to Darnell Clash at the 53. He's still on his feet, and they're ruling that he was down. The Argos were fortunate on that one because he was gone. He kept bouncing off the tacklers, and apparently the whistle had gone.
Well, there's no question the whistle did blow, and when that whistle blows, it's all over.
Well, this kicks off Week 5 in the Canadian Football League. Tomorrow night, 2 games, Ottawa at Edmonton, Hamilton at Montreal, and then on Saturday, Saskatchewan visits Calgary in a game you'll see on CBC television. First and 10. The ball is at the 53. Draw play is to Van Jenkins, caught immediately by James Curry.
James Curry made the tackle.
Actually, the BC Lions have had excellent field position the last couple of times they've had the ball and haven't really been able to capitalize. And DeWalt seems like on a sure passing down that he's going deep all the time, Ron.
Yeah, he sure has.
Those backs coming out of the backfield have been open, too.
Second and 12 from midfield with 9:04 remaining in this first half. DeWalt passing over the middle. It's complete to Pankratz, but he'll be stopped short of the first down by Darrell Wilson. Wilson covered that one about as well as you can, and Pankratz made an exceptional catch.
Actually, they called it incomplete.
Let's see what happens. He does turn. The ball's thrown right on the money, but it's an excellent defensive play.
Somewhere in between the time that ball was jostled and the time he hit the ground, it got loose, but we couldn't see it.
Well, our end zone camera revealed that that ball did pop away, so it's a third down punt at the 40-yard line. Bisaglia hits it high, and it will take a big bounce, and Carinci will let it roll into the end zone and will concede the single point.
Bob Obilovich is making sure that his quarterback, Mark Cassell, the young guy from Montclair, doesn't start in bad field position. He's going to get him out to that 35-yard line because that's about 3 punts now. They've made no effort at all to catch. They've let it go in the end zone. I don't know if I agree with it, but one thing about it, looking at it from a quarterback's standpoint, it's much better to start at your 35.
I think that's what the coach feels, that as long as this kid needs some experience in there, he's not going to put him in an added position of starting him down on the goal line.
A 55-yard single by Lou Bisaglia gives the Lions a 13-10 lead. Cassell to the sidelines to Pearson, and he is forced out of bounds by Tyrone Cruz. Tyrone Cruz, number 91, was another CFL Star of the Week for his performance against the Montreal Concorde. There's a penalty flag downfield in the vicinity of the 45-yard line.
Coach Matthews says, take him back. That's a defensive coach's thinking. He's not worried about wasting it down. He says, take him back, let's have some good field position, and we'll hold him.
Let's listen to referee Lorne Woods.
Illegal interference. Toronto number 10. First down repeated.
So Terry Greer was guilty of that interference. And that moves the ball back to the 25. It will be first and 20 now. And you can bet that the Lions will be going after him. They put some pressure on and hurry the throw with Kerry Taylor, the intended receiver.
Just as well that ball was thrown into the ground. Andre Jones was just sitting there waiting on him to catch the football. He had him all lined up.
8:03 is the time left in this first half. The BC Lions in front of Toronto 13-10. The ball is at the 25-yard line. It's second and 20. Kerry Taylor, the leading receiver last week, the leading receiver in tonight's game for the Argos. Cassell is forced to run the ball, and he steps out of bounds after a pickup of 4. So the Argos are forced into a punting situation again.
So Bob Obilovich talking to Terry Greer. He had gone deep down the sidelines, and then when the quarterback was in trouble, he came back to the sideline. Even if he had thrown him the football, he wouldn't have made the first down, and I think he just elected to keep it himself. If he'd have caught it, he'd only gained about 11 yards.
This time Sandusky joins Clash on the punt return team.
He's going to have to fight him for the ball. That Clash loves to return him.
Again, Illicik, not a particularly good punt. Sandusky took it on the run and ran out of room as he was wrapped up by Cliff Hewitt. 7:16 is the time remaining in the half. Mark Cassell, the Argo starting quarterback, in place of the injured Conrad Holloway.
Tell you, when you put he and Roy DeWalt side by side, you have two pretty healthy-looking young'uns. They're both about 6'3", about 250 and 220.
Good field position for the Lions. DeWalt under some pressure, goes to the sideline, incomplete. It was intended for Pancratz.
DeWalt's pass intended for Pancratz. Incomplete.
Tonight, Cassell has by far the better passing percentage. The BC Lions have been successful in moving the football along the ground. Cassell actually 6'3", 230 pounds, and Roy DeWalt 6'2", 210 pounds. So two big quarterbacks directing their respective teams' attack in tonight's game. DeWalt under pressure, and he is dropped for a loss by James Curry. Curry, the much-traveled ex-BC Lion, putting pressure on his former teammate and dropping him for a loss back at the 50.
Well, that's the third or fourth time that they've started the ball right at midfield and haven't done anything with it. Roy DeWalt goes back, takes a look downfield, two-man pattern, they're both covered, looks back to the other side, there's nobody there, and they just storm in on him. But you can't waste that kind of field position time after time. You've got to do something with it.
Again, the Argo punt return people let the ball bounce into the end zone. And Carinci concedes another single point. A 50-yard kick by Lou Pasaglia. Well, if we were at the Dome at the stadium at BC Place with that noise from the stands, they'd be going Lou, Lou, Lou. But here at CNE Stadium, it's boo, as they are not thrilled with the decision by the Toronto Argonauts to let those balls bounce into the end zone.
They don't like the game plan, do they?
Indeed they don't, but I think it's a pretty good decision on the part of Coach Bob Vavilovich. Lester Brown was tripped up in the backfield. Penetration made by James Parker. I saw him in the lobby of the hotel today, all dressed up. I said to Nick Hepler, is he always dressed up? He's at 7 in the morning. I don't think the man owns a pair of blue jeans, but he has a lot of suits, a lot of shoes, and he is always dressed as though he's going out in the town. Right about now, the Toronto Argonauts probably wish he was out in the town instead of in that backfield harassing Cassell. Cassell gets the pass away. It's tipped by Nelson Martin, intended for Kerry Taylor.
Martin just mistimed his jump. I thought he was going to intercept that, but he was in the air a long time, and when he was coming down, the ball was just getting there.
Well, Martin did a good job coming from his rover position there because Taylor had him beat on the outside. Martin just came like the big old center fielder over there and went to the football, but as you said, Ron, it was a little premature with his jumper. He would have had himself an interception.
So it's third down for the Toronto Argonauts. And again, just Darnell Clash back for this third down kick. Lysik's last kick only traveled 25 yards. They've been putting some pressure on him. They'll try and get to this one again, but he gets away a good kick this time. Darnell Clash back at his own 31-yard line. He tries that spinning maneuver, but is unable to escape the grasp of the first man downfield, Don Moon.
43-yard kick by
Well, this is the worst field position, Don, that they've had in a long time, and they're still up around the 44-yard line.
Moon, another product of the University of British Columbia. The BC Lions have certainly done well from the two schools in their vicinity, UBC and Simon Fraser. 7 Simon Fraser grads in their roster and 4 from the University of British Columbia.
Hometown flavor.
DeWalt to Pancratz. First down near midfield. Let's see where they place it. Carl Braisley made the tackle.
Braisley made the tackle.
It appeared his progress had carried to the midfield stripe, but they mark it, as you see, just shy of center field. But it is enough for a first down. 4:20 is the time left in this first half. 14-10. The BC Lions in front of the Toronto Argonauts. DeWalt to Kay Van Jenkins. He was unable to hang on when by Don Mones. They ruled that an incomplete pass. Some of the Argos and their fans thought it was a completion and a fumble, but such was not the case.
Well, when you force that quarterback to throw it underneath the coverage, like he had to throw to the short guy, and then those linebackers will react up on him hard, and Moan came in from the back and hit him pretty good in the back and jarred it loose. That's the way defense is supposed to be played.
Fernandez wide left, Sandusky out to the right. Second and 10. Sandusky makes the catch, and he had Carl Bracely all over him.
Boy, that was a good play, a good pass, and a good catch, because, as you said, Don, Bracely had about as good a coverage as you could have on that play, and they had a big blitz, which put a one-on-one situation down there with Bracely on Sandusky. Watch them all come. He didn't have much time to throw it, but he got it there right where you had to get it. Sandusky squeezed it.
When they all blitz like that, the quarterback can throw it down low. The linebackers aren't there, and that really helps the quarterback.
First and 10 from the 41. DeWalt under pressure. He'll be caught from behind and dropped by James Curry. It was Curry who made the initial penetration, flushing DeWalt out of the pocket, and then he caught him from behind.
Well, that was a good six-step drop before he started thinking about looking, and the penetration got in there, and when he did step up inside, it was too late because the defender caught him.
Remaining in the half here at CNE Stadium, and wherever you're looking in across the CBC television network tonight, we hope you're enjoying Thursday night CFL action on CBC. Second and long. The ball is dropped again by James Curry.
Pancratz was so open that time, but I don't think DeWalt didn't see him. He was just all by himself. Steve Roy coming back here, and he never gets set to throw the football until he's back there about on a six-step drop. Then he sees Curry come in there, and it's too late to look downfield, and Pancratz broke wide open.
Actually, I'm going to correct you, Leo. I don't think he saw him at all. He came in from behind. He may have felt him, but he didn't see him.
Okay.
Lou Pasaglia's third down kick. Gary Taylor takes it at the 7-yard line. Nowhere to go. And Ryan Potter was the first downfield to make contact with him.
Returned the kick for the Argonauts.
Well, 2:40 left in the half. This is about as far back as Toronto started. That's the first punt they've caught there on their 10-yard line. Let's see if the Lions go after him right away. First down.
You know, when you talk about potential Carling O'Keefe game stars, you have to give James Curry some consideration because he has made 3 or 4 quarterback sacks so far tonight.
Boy, sure has. He's really played well. That last play, he just beat the guard, Gerald Roper, one-on-one. Went in clean.
First and 10 from the 10. Cassell for Grill was unable to hang on. I am not sure that ball may have been deflected as he went up.
He took his eyes off the football just at the last.
I think he was checking the terrain.
So it will be second and 10 with 2:35 remaining in the half. BC in front of Toronto 14-10. The Argos with a 2-2 record, and the British Columbia Lions unbeaten in their first 4 starts. The pitch to Lester Brown. He is going nowhere. He was wrapped up immediately by Nick Hebler, and then he got some help from Mike Ray.
You know, a guy that really is a lot of times underestimated is that first guy that gets in there and stirs things up in the backfield. A lot of times he doesn't make the tackle, but he breaks the consistency of the play, makes the back change directions, and then any good defense just zeroes in on him. And Nick Hebler is great at getting that penetration.
Nick Hebler, who for the past 2 years has been out of the BC lineup for at least part of the season as the result of injury.
They say Nick Hebler doesn't get ulcers, he gives them.
He has been one of the dominant defensive players in the CFL for the past 4 years. Good kick. Chases Darnell Clark back to midfield, and he fumbled the ball back at his own 53, but it went out of bounds, so there's no opportunity for a return. after that 48-yard punt by Hank Olisic. Well, the Saskatchewan Roughriders will be facing Calgary Saturday night on CFL action on CBC, and we'll have a report on the Saskatchewan Roughriders at halftime. We'll also have updates on what's transpiring in the world of sport on this Thursday night.
There it goes. He's got him beat.
DeWalt passing for Fernandez, knocked down by Steve Johnson, the safety who came over to help out Bo Metcalf.
Well, Metcalf has been very aggressive this first half in coming up and making plays on Fernandez. That time, Fernandez went down and bent it to the outside, give him the look to the outside, and then turned it downfield. And here you see him as he's turned it downfield, and it was just a great reaction from the inside that time that stopped the play, because we had Metcalf beat, but Dennis Clay come over there and helped out.
I think that replay also showed something else about Mervyn Fernandez. If you watched his eyes, concentrating on that ball, not blinking as he ran down the field.
Well, that's a good receiver has to do that. He has to be able to find that ball. That's the only thing that's important to him. Here they come.
I'm going to say complete to Sandusky over the middle. He was wide open, but could not hang on.
He'd have gone a long way on that one, too, if he caught that pass. But a big rush by the Argos that time, but DeWalt had the presence of mind to dump the ball off, and it was just a little bit off, but still catchable, Ron.
Well, they blitz 8 people, like you say, and the guy goes right into the middle, and he was wide open, and DeWalt looked immediately in there, found him. He couldn't throw it any better.
This game started as though the Lions were going to blow the Argos right out of the park, and I'm sure many of their followers here at CNE Stadium felt the same. But the Argo defensive unit has settled down, and they have pretty much restricted the play of the BC Lions since then. Jan Carinci on the return to his 26-yard line. Jamie Blease was there to make the tackle. That was a 43-yard kick by Lou Pasaglia. 1:47 the time left in the half. A 4-point advantage for the BC Lions. Of course, number 1 of all time in the CFL for punt return yardage is Paul Bennett of the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
First touchdown, Argo 25.
Mark Cassell, 1st and 10 from his own 26. He's in trouble, brought down by Mike Gray. Well, at the start of our telecast, we said that Cassell would have his hands full tonight with the front 4 of the BC Lions. The 2 ends, Parker and Hebler, and Clausen and Gray inside.
He sprinted this way, and Glenn Jackson got out underneath the receiver. Now he scrambles around, and Mike Gray, he's leading them right now with 5 sacks. He just picks up another one. Played real well this year for them.
Cassell passing along the sidelines, intended for Terry Greer, incomplete. Darnell Clash was over there defending.
Boy, he about took that referee's hat off. In fact, he did take his hat off.
So with 1:23 remaining in the half, the BC Lions will get another opportunity.
This will be the 5th or 6th time that they've gotten the ball just about at midfield and haven't done much with it, which is a tribute to the Argos, the way they're playing. But I think it also kind of bears testimony to what I said earlier, that when a team scores as easy as the BC Lions did on their first drive, they sometimes take something out of them, and that's exactly what's happened. They're not the same football team after that.
Well, the